Hi folks, this is a first look at Mastermind GT 4.1 Beta 1 and showing off the AxeFX compatibility in this release. So I'm just going to run it through real quick here. So this is a factory initialized Mastermind GT22, and so we're just going to go into setup here, and you need to go over here to edit devices, and there's one by default it's set up to Effect Gizmo. We're going to change it from Effect Gizmo. We're going to change the type to Fractal Audio AxeFX 3. It's important to get the model right. Okay, it's already set up most of it for us. One other thing we're going to do here is set default buttons and 1, and this sets up button page 1 for buttons that specifically control the AxeFX 3. We'll also hit set default pedals, although we are not going to cover expression pedals in this video. Last thing is get preset names, and this allows you to read preset names and scene names from the AxeFX and convert them into songs and presets on the GT automatically. So this option here is what you need. You want to turn get scenes on, and then we're going to adjust our start preset and end preset on the AxeFX. I'm just going to go and get presets 10 through 20. You'll probably want to get more. I'm just trying to keep it short for this demo. So it's copying AxeFX presets 10 through 20. It's going to start copying to song number 0 on the GT. And the scenes per song here, you'll probably want to, for now, stick with the default number that shows up here. It's going to be 5 on a GT10 or on a GT16, and it'll be 6 on a GT22. And this basically controls how many scenes are read from each preset on the AxeFX, and those get copied to the preset buttons on the GT, so you're going to want this number to be the same as the number of preset buttons on your GT. So yeah, keep it the way it is for now, if that just confused you. So now we just hit start, and we answer yes to proceed. And it is going to start running. It will, if you're looking at your AxeFX screen, it'll page through all of those presets. You'll actually see it changing presets. This reminds me, I didn't talk about the connections. Importantly, is just 2 standard 5-pin MIDI cables. The GT's MIDI input to the AxeFX's output, the GT's MIDI output to the AxeFX's input, and those are the only connections you need to get all of this working. Okay, so get preset names is done, so we hit done, and we do it a few times to back out of the menu. And so now we see this all set up here. We start here on the top screen. The top line shows the preset name, the bottom line shows the currently active scene name. And if we go all the way to the bottom here, these preset buttons, these are the 3 scenes that are active in that preset, and we can hit these and just select the scenes within the preset, and you can see when you hit these, it updates in the top display as well. You'll note that there's only 3 here. There are 3 blank buttons, and this is where the 6 comes from. There are 6 possible places we can put scenes, but this preset just happens to only have 3, so only those show up, only those light up. Bank up and bank down will actually select presets on the AxeFX. So if I hit bank up and you look here, it'll start telling me the preset names that are on the AxeFX. I'm going to take this Mark IV preset, and if we now look down here, as you do that, these buttons down here will show the individual scene names, and you can just select one of these right away. Looking at the blue buttons here, these are your effect blocks. If they're not lit at all, that means that effect block is not present in the current preset. If they're blue, they are in the current preset, but they are not turned on. And if they're this aqua cyan color, they are in the block or they're in the preset and they're turned on right now. And you'll notice each one of these also has a channel number, or a channel letter, actually, I guess it would be, which allows you to select the channels. Right now, amp 1 is on channel B, and you'll see as I change scenes on here, the channel will also change, because that's how this preset is set up. But channels will update automatically. If you want to change a channel on one of these, let's say over here on this delay, we want it to change from channel A to channel B, we hold the button for 2 seconds, and it'll put up a little menu of channel A through D, and we just hit channel B. And so now channel B is selected on that delay, and that'll work for any of the effect buttons. And you can see that these will automatically change, including effect states. Like if I switch from rhythm to clean, you'll see that the compressor is set to turn on in that particular scene. And so these buttons will track whatever is currently available, and whatever's turned on, what the channels are, etc., for every scene. Other features, you'll see the tap tempo does work on that, and it will flash the current tempo, and you can tap out a different tempo, and it works like you'd expect it to. The GT tuner, or the Axe-Fx tuner, will display on the GT screen, and so you can see that there. It'll display sharp and flat arrows, and how off of center it is. We don't have anything plugged into it, so that's why it's going crazy. So that's the tuner. And then one other thing here is the IA mode, and what that does is it converts the bank and preset buttons into a second function. On the GT22, the bottom row becomes a bunch of looper controls. On the smaller models, those buttons convert to different effect block buttons. But all of this is completely user configurable. You can change which button controls which function, and that's entirely user editable. Real quick, in here, we can go back into setup by holding the 2 small buttons under the screen. Go to Edit Devices, Axe-Fx 3, and then you can say Assign Buttons. And now it gives us a list of everything you can control on the Axe-Fx. Let's say we need, let's see, how about Graphic EQ 1? We want to put that somewhere. So we select Graphic EQ 1, and we're going to put this in place of the tremolo button up here. So we just hit that, and it's asking if we want to replace or add, and we want to replace it because we don't need the tremolo function on that button, but you can stack multiple functions on there. Hit replace, and then we can just hit done a bunch of times to get out. And well, it's hard to see because it's not active in this preset, but it has changed to Graphic EQ 1. And so that's the real quick lowdown. I mean, obviously all of this can be done in our editor software as well, and I'm sure we'll cover that elsewhere. But this hopefully will get you beta testers started. And, let us know if you have any feedback or comments. Thanks.